होंगे कामयाब, होंगे कामयाब, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। हो मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन। होगी शांति चारों ओर, होगी शांति चारों ओर, होगी शांति चारों ओर एक दिन। हो मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास, होगी शांति चारों ओर एक दिन।
Dear students, you will be giving most important exam of your school life from 21st April onwards. Due to corona pandemic, this academic year was very challenging for you all in terms of offline teaching and learning process. In spite of that, students, you all have studied well with full passion, confidence and are able to complete your portion. So for this, we really want to appreciate your hard work. Still, we feel that some students are still not assured and confident whether they have completed their studies or no. They seem to be very confused. In order to help such students, Asim Gyan channel have started a series for providing helping hand to our students. In this series, we are going to solve all your queries related to Science 1 and 2 to make you feel confident by solving all your queries and by clearing all your confusions. So today, I am going to explain you an important topic, periodic classification of the element from Science 1. If you study only the taught topic, I assure to get flying marks in Science 1 in SSC board exam. Before we start, I would like to introduce you the paper pattern of the Science 1 and 2. Because of this, which type of the questions will be asked in exam will be clarified, which will be enable you all students to study as per the paper pattern. Now let's see the paper pattern of Science 1 and Science 2. In this, there are altogether 4 questions. Question 1A is a 5 marks question in which 5 multiple choice questions of 1 mark each, and all these questions will be based on the textbook only. Question 1B, 5 questions of 1 mark each. Total marks for this is 5 marks. Question 2A includes these 3 scientific reason questions of 2 marks each. Total mark for this question is 4. Question 2B include 5 questions of 2 marks each. You have a choice to attempt any 3. Total mark for this question is 6 marks. Question 3 include 8 questions of 3 marks each. You have to attempt any 5. Total marks for this question is 15. Question 4 include 2 questions of 5 marks. You have to attempt any 1. Total mark for this question is 5. So, Science 1 is together 40 marks and even Science 2 is of 40 marks. SSC at one glance, a complete guidance series. Chapter 2, Periodic Classification of the Elements. Concept, Direction and Coordination by Mr. B.B. Jadhav sir. This video is prepared by Mrs. Vaishali Sonavne from Pragya Bodhini High School, Goregaon East. Let's start. Periodic Classification of Elements, Chapter 2 from Science 1, Part 1. In this chapter, we are going to cover the following points. Element and their classification, Dauber-Reynolds triad, Newland law of octave, Mendeleev's periodic table, structure, demerits and merits, modern periodic table, structure and periodic trend of modern periodic table. As we have learned in previous standard that all the elements are of only one type. Today, only 118 elements were known to the scientific world. However, around year 1800, only about 30 elements were known. More number of the elements were discovered in the course of time. So, to study them systematically, scientists start classifying them. The first scientist was Dobereiner. So let's see first Dobereiner's triad. In the year 1817, a German scientist Dobereiner suggested that the properties of the elements are related to their atomic masses. He observed that certain elements have similar properties. So he made a group of three elements each having similar chemical properties and called them triads. So how he arranged? He arranged these three elements in a group of three, that in a triad, in an increasing order of atomic mass, and showed that the atomic mass of the middle element was approximately equal to the mean of the atomic mass of other two elements. So now let's see the example of the Dobereiner's triad. These are the example of Dobereiner triads. First triad is the lithium, sodium and potassium. Second is the calcium, strontium and barium. And third is the chlorine, bromine and iodine. You can see in the first example, as per the Dobereiner's triad, the first and the third element, the arithmetic mean of the first and third element is exactly equal to the atomic mass of the middle element, that is the sodium. Now let's see what is the disadvantage and limitation of the Dobereiner's triad. All the elements known that time couldn't classified into the triads. For example, the large number of the similar elements could not be grouped into the triads like iron, manganese, nickel, cobalt, zinc and the copper. They are similar elements but could not be placed in a triads. It was possible that the quite dissimilar elements could be grouped into the triads. Some of the triads did not follow the law of Dobereiner's triad. For example, copper, argentinum and aurum. Since he failed to arrange the known elements in the form of the triad, his attempt of classification was not very successful. Next scientist was Newland, John Newland. As when he heard that the Dobereiner was in the news for the classifying the elements based on their atomic masses and number, he was also determined to create a system that could classify elements. And this system was known as the law of octave, created by him in 1866. The law of Newland is famously known as law of octave, as he arranged the group of the element, 8 element in the increasing order of the atomic masses, and he found that there are the similar properties of the first element and the 8th element. So in this system, Newland had placed every 8 known element at that time, that is from the hydrogen to thorium. Now let's see what is the advantage and disadvantage of the Newland's law of octave. As he helped detect a periodic, that is the every 8 element pattern in the properties of the element. Even this classification helped to develop a better system of classification. But the limitation that this held true only for the element still calcium. Newland assumed that only 56 elements existed in nature, but many more elements were discovered whose properties did not fit into the octave. In order to fit elements into his table, Newland adjusted 2 elements in the same slot and also adjusted same unlike elements under the same slot. This law of octave works only with the lighter elements. Now the next scientist was the Mendeleev. Now let's see the Mendeleev's periodic table. Mendeleev was the Russian scientist and he also made the periodic table on the basis of the fundamental property, that is the atomic masses. He arranged 63 elements known at that time in increasing order of atomic masses. He transferred in the periodic table of the elements with accordance of their physical and chemical properties. He organized periodic table on the basis of the physical properties like melting point, boiling point, density, ability to form the hydrides and oxides. Mendeleev found that elements with similar physical and chemical properties repeat after a definite interval. On this basis, Mendeleev derived the basic law which states properties of the elements are periodic function of their atomic masses. Now let's see what are the advantage or the merits of the Mendeleev's periodic table. As you know that the atomic masses of the sub-elements are revised so as to give them a proper place in the periodic table in accordance with their property. Example is the beryllium, whose atomic mass was 14.09 was changed to the correct value 9.4 and therefore the beryllium is placed before the boron. Mendeleev also kept the vacant places in the periodic table for the elements was not discovered till then. Three of these unknown elements were given the names of Eka aluminum, Eka boron, Eka silicon and their atomic masses were indicated as 44, 68 and 72 respectively. You can see these are the vacant places Mendeleev kept for the unknown element. Later, when these elements were discovered and named as the scandium, gallium and germanium respectively, the properties of these elements match well with those predicted by the Mendeleev. There was no place reserved for the noble gases in the Mendeleev's periodic table. However, when the noble gases such as the helium, neon and argon were discovered towards the end of the 19th century, Mendeleev created the zero group without disturbing the original periodic table in which the noble gases were fitted very well. Now let's see what are the limitations or the demerits of the Mendeleev's periodic table. The whole number atomic mass of the elements like cobalt and nickel is the same. Therefore, there was an ambiguity or the confusion regarding their sequence in the Mendeleev's periodic table. Second is the isotopes were discovered long after the Mendeleev put forth the periodic table. As isotopes have the same chemical properties but different atomic masses, then challenge was posed in placing them in the Mendeleev's periodic table. When elements are arranged in an increasing order of atomic masses, the rise in the atomic mass does not appear to be uniform. It was not possible, therefore, to predict how many elements could be discovered between two heavy elements. The most second disadvantage is that regarding the position of hydrogen, which shows the similarity with the halogens in group 7. For example, if you see the molecular formula of hydrogen is also H2, while the molecular formula of the fluorine and chlorine is also F2 and Cl2 respectively. Position of the hydrogen show also similarity with the alkali metals. In the same way, there is a similarity in the chemical properties of the hydrogen and alkali metal which is placed in the group 1. There is a similarity in the molecular formula of the compound of the hydrogen of alkali metals like sodium, potassium, etc. formed with the chlorine and oxygen. On considering the above properties, it cannot be decided whether the correct position of hydrogen is in the group of alkali metals, that is in the group 1, or in the group of halogens. Now let's see the modern periodic table. The scientific world did not know anything about the interior of the atom when the Mendeleev put forth the periodic table. In 1913 AD, the English scientist Henry Moseley demonstrated with the help of the experiment that fundamental property is atomic number and not an atomic mass. He revealed that the atomic number is more fundamental property of an element than its atomic mass. Accordingly, the statement of the modern periodic law was stated as follows. Properties of the elements are periodic function of their atomic numbers. Now let's see the modern periodic table, long form of the modern periodic table. The classification of the elements resulting from an arrangement of the elements in an increasing order of their atomic number. The elements can be predicted more accurately with the help of the modern periodic table because it is formed on the basis of the atomic number. The modern periodic table is also called as the long form of the periodic table. As the elements are arranged in accordance with their atomic number, as a result, most of the drawbacks of the Mendeleev's periodic table appear to be removed. This modern periodic table is related to the atomic number. As in the previous class, we learned about the electronic configuration of the atom. What is exactly the electronic configuration? The way in which the electrons are distributed in the shells around the nucleus is determined by the total number of the electrons in it. And the total number of the electrons in an atom is the same as the atomic number. So this relation between the atomic number of an element and its electronic configuration is clearly seen in the modern periodic table. Now let's see the structure of the modern periodic table. You can see in the modern periodic table there are the 7 horizontal rows. These 7 horizontal rows are called as the periods. So in modern periodic table there are the 1 to 7 periods. There are 18 vertical columns in the table. Vertical columns, you can see these are the 18 vertical columns and they are called as a groups. The arrangement of the periods and the groups. Periods is the horizontal one and the groups are the vertical columns. This arrangement of the groups and period result in the formation of boxes. Atomic numbers are serially indicated in the upper part of these boxes. Each box corresponds to the place where for only one element. Apart from these 7 rows, 2 rows shown separately at the bottom of the periodic table. These are the 2 rows which is at the base of the periodic table. These are called as the lanthanide and the actinide series respectively. There are total 118 boxes in the periodic table containing 2 series. It means that there are 118 places for the elements in the modern periodic table. The entire periodic table is divided into the 4 blocks: S block, P block, D block and F block. These are the 4 blocks. If you see, the S block contains the elements in the group 1 and group 2. The group 13 to 18 constitute the P block. You can see in this grade 13 to 18 groups. This is the 13 to 18 groups. All elements are constitute the P block. The groups 3 to 12 means 3 to 12 constitute the D block. You can see the elements in the yellow color. While the lanthanide and the actinide series at the bottom form the F block. These D block elements are also called as the transition elements. A zigzag line can be drawn in the P block of the periodic table. The 3 traditional types of the elements can be clearly shown in the modern periodic table with the help of the zigzag line. The metalloid elements lie along the border of the zigzag line and all the metals lie on the left side of the zigzag line while non-metals lie on the right side of the zigzag line. This is the modern periodic table based on the atomic number. You can see that all these vertical columns is called as the groups and all these horizontal rows are called as the periods. This is the zigzag line. You can see this is the zigzag lines. All the metals are placed on the left side of the zigzag line and all the non-metals are placed on the right side of the zigzag line. And on this zigzag line only the metalloids are present. Now let's see the periods and electronic configuration. In modern periodic table, as you know that there are the 7 horizontal rows called periods. The number of the valence electrons is different in these elements. However, the number of the shells is the same. Valence electrons means the electrons which is present in the outermost orbit. When you go from the left to the right within the period, the atomic number increases by 1 at a time, and the number of the valence electron also increases 1 at a time. So in period, there is a gradation in the properties of the elements. The elements with the same number of the shells occupied by the electrons belongs to the same period. Means if the element has having the 3 shells, then it is belongs to the third period. For example, you can see the elements in the second period, namely the lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen and fluorine and neon have the electrons in the 2 shells. So they are present in the second period. If you see the sodium till argon having the 3 shells, so they are placed in the third period. The chemical reactivity of an element is also determined by the number of the valence electron in it and also the shell number of the valence shell. If you see in a period when you are going from the left to the right, the atomic number increases by 1 at a time. As a result, the atomic radius gradually decreases and therefore the atomic size also decreases. Now let's learn groups and electronic configuration in modern periodic table. As you know that there are 18 vertical columns in periodic table and called as a group. They are 1, you can see this is 1 and 2. Then this 3 to 12, 13 and 18. The number of the valence electron in all the elements from the group 1, that is the family of alkali metals, is the same. Similarly, the elements from any other group, you will find that the number of their valence electron is the same. For example, if you see the elements beryllium, magnesium and calcium belong to the group 2, that is the family of alkaline earth metals. There are 2 electrons in their outermost shell. Similarly, there are 7 electrons in the outermost shell of the elements such as the fluorine, chlorine from the group 70, that is from the halogens family. When you go from the top to bottom, in any group, the 1 electron shells get added at time. From this we can say that the electronic configuration of the outermost shell is the characteristic of the particular group. However, as we go down the group, the number of the shells goes on increasing. Now let's see the periodic trends in the modern periodic table. So what is the periodic trends? When the properties of the elements in the period or the group of modern periodic table are compared, you can see the certain regularity is observed in their variations. And this regularity in their variation is called as a periodic trend in the modern periodic table. In this standard, we are going to consider the periodic trends in only 3 properties: valency, atomic size, metallic and non-metallic character. Now let's see the first, atomic size. Size and volume is the fundamental property of matter. The size of an atom is indicated by its radius. So what is atomic radius? It is the distance between the nucleus of the atom and its outermost shell. As the atomic radius expressed in the unit picometer, and which is the smaller than that of the nanometer. Now let's see how it is in the period and the group. The atomic radius goes on decreasing when we go from left to right within a period. When you go from left to right, the atomic radius is decreasing within the period. What is the reason behind this? When we go from left to right within a period, the atomic number are increased by 1, meaning the positive charge on the nucleus increases by 1 unit at a time. However, the additional electrons get added to the same outermost shell. Due to the increased nuclear charge, the electrons are pulled towards the nucleus to the greater extent, and thereby the size of the atom decreases when we go from the left to right within a period. But atomic size or the atomic radius while going down the group, when you go from down the group, it goes on increasing. This is because when we are go down the group, a new shell is added. Therefore, the distance between the outermost electrons and the nucleus goes on increasing. As a result of this, the atomic size increases in spite of the increased nuclear charge. Now let's see the valency. So what is the valency? Valency of any element is determined by the number of the electrons present in the outermost shell of its atom. That is the valence electrons. All the elements in the groups have the same number of the valence electrons. If you see in the group 1 or the group 2, the valence electrons is the same. Therefore, the elements in the same group should have the same valency. If the elements are group 1, means they are having the one valence electron. For example, the elements of the group 1 contains the one valence electron and the valence of the element of group 1 is 1. Similarly, for the group 2, the valence is 2. Now let's see the metallic and non-metallic character in the modern periodic table. If you see the metallic elements like the sodium and the magnesium are towards the left of this zigzag line, and the non-metallic elements such as the sulfur, you can see this sulfur and the chlorine is the right of this zigzag line. The metallic element, you can see the silicon lies in between these two types. A similar pattern is also observed in other periods. This zigzag line, you can see this zigzag line in the green one, separates the metal from the non-metals in the periodic table. Elements appear to have arranged in such a way that the metals are on the left side of this line and non-metals on the right side, and the metalloids are along the border of this zigzag line. So it is seen from the chemical formula of any simple ionic compound that the cation in them is formed from a metal while the anion is formed from the non-metal. From this, what we understood that the metals have a tendency to form the cation by losing valence electrons, and this property is called as the electropositivity of an element. So most of the metals are losing the electrons in their outermost orbit and they are becoming the electropositive. That's why the electropositivity is the property of the metallic element. Now let's see the trend of metallic character in a group. When we are going down a group, a new shell gets added. When you go from down the group, the metallic shells get added, resulting in an increasing distance between the nucleus and the valence electron. This results in the lowering the effective nuclear charge and thereby the lowering the attractive force on the valence electrons. As a result of this, the tendency of the atom to the lose electron increases. Also, the penultimate shell becomes the outermost shell on losing valence electrons. This penultimate shell is a complete octet. Therefore, the resulting cation form is stable. Due to this, the tendency of the atom to lose electron increases further. So, the metallic character of an atom is its tendency to lose electrons. Therefore, we can see the following trend is observed. The metallic characters of the element increases while when you go from down the group from top to bottom. Top is the least metallic character. When you go to the down, it will be the most metallic elements. Now let's see the metallic trend across the period. While going from the left to right, within a period, the outermost shell remains the same. So the positive charge on the nucleus goes on increasing while the atomic radius goes on decreasing. Thus the effective nuclear charge goes on increasing. As a result of these, the tendency of the atom to lose the electrons decreases within the period when you go from the right to left. The two factors, namely the increasing nuclear charge and decreasing atomic radius, as we go from the left to right within a period, are responsible for increasing the effective nuclear charge. Therefore, the valence electrons are held with greater and greater attractive force, and this is called as the electronegativity of an atom. Due to the increasing electronegativity from left to right within a period, the ability of an atom to become an anion by accepting outside electrons goes on increasing. The tendency of an element to form an anion or the electronegativity is the non-metallic character of an element. Now let's see the gradation in the halogen family. You can see this group 17. This is the members of the halogen family. All of them have the general formula X2. The gradation is observed in their physical state down the group. For example, if you see the fluorine and chlorine, this is the F2 and Cl2 are gases. Bromine, that is the Br2, is the liquid, while the iodine I2 is solid. Students, we covered important points of this topic, periodic classification of elements. In exams, questions will be asked only on these covered points. So in order to evaluate your learning, I am going to conduct your oral test or the question in quiz form. Student, don't be afraid after listening exam word, as this oral test or the quiz is going to be objective in answering short questions. You will get one question on your screen for which you will be given 10 seconds to think about the answer and write your answer on a piece of paper. Once the given time is over, correct answer will be displayed on your screen. Tally your answer with the answer on your screen. With this small oral test, you will be able to evaluate yourself properly. So student, let's start with a small and interesting exam. Now the first, alkaline earth metals have a valency 2. This means that their position in the modern periodic table is in dash A group 2, group 16, period 2, or in D block. So your answer group 2. If you written group 2, means your answer is correct. Let's go further. The molecular formula of the chloride of an element X is XCl. This compound is solid having a high melting point. Which of the following element be present in the same group as X? A, Na, B, Mg, C, Al, that is the aluminium, D, Si, silicon. Now your time start. Yes, answer is sodium. Next question. According to Mendeleev's periodic table, properties of elements are periodic function of their dash. Option A, atomic number, B, atomic mass, C, densities, D, boiling points. So your time starts. Answer of this question is atomic masses. Option B. Now let's see the next question. Which of the following triads does not follow the Dauber-Reiner's law of triads? Lithium, sodium, potassium, calcium, strontium, barium, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, or copper, argentinum, aurum. So your time starts. Answer of this question is copper, argentinum, and aurum. These are the questions asked in the previous board exam. This is the give reason which was asked in March 20 for 2 marks. Elements belonging to the same group have the same valency. So what are the points you have to write? As you know, the valency of any element is determined by the number of the valence electrons in the outermost shell of an atom of an element. So all the elements in a group have the same number of the valence electron. Therefore, elements in the same group should have the same valency. For example, the elements of the group 1 contain only one valence electron. The valency of the elements of the group 1 is 1. Similarly for group 2 and group 3. Now next is the answer the following. This is the question asked in March 19 for the 2 marks. In the Dobereiner's triad containing the lithium, sodium, potassium, if atomic masses of lithium and potassium are 6.99 and 39.1, then what will be the atomic mass of sodium? Now, as you know that the atomic mass of the sodium is the average of the atomic masses of the lithium and potassium as per the Dobereiner's triad. So you have to add the first 6.9 plus 39.9 and sum of these two divided by 2. What you are getting is the 23 is the atomic mass, which will be the atomic mass of the sodium. Now the next question. An element has an electronic configuration 282 and the answer the following question given below. This question was asked in March 20 for the 3 marks. Sub questions are, what is the atomic number of this element? You have to find out what is the atomic number of this element. What is the group of this element? And to which period does the element belong? Now the atomic number of this element is the 12. That is the 2 plus 8 plus 2 is 12. The group of this element is the 2. The group is determined by the valence electrons present in the outermost orbit. The period of this element is the 3 because the 3 atomic shells are present. Now this is the questions asked in March 19 for the 3 marks. Question is, describe the merits of Mendeleev's periodic table. Merits means what are the advantages? You know that to save the proper place in the periodic table, the atomic masses of the some elements were revised in accordance with their properties. That is between the beryllium, which is previously 14.0 corrected to the 9.4 and placed before the boron. Mendeleev kept the vacant places in the periodic table, and when these elements are named as the Ica boron, Ica aluminum and Ica silicon, even their atomic masses were indicated as 44, 66 and 27, and their properties were also predicted. Later, when these elements were discovered, they are named as the scandium, gallium and germanium, and their properties of the elements match well with those predicted by the Mendeleev. There was no place reserved for the noble gases in the Mendeleev's original periodic table. When the noble gases was discovered, then it is placed in the 0 group without disturbing the original periodic table in which the noble gases is placed very well. This is the question asked in March 19 for the 5 marks. Taken into the consideration the period of the elements given below, answer the following questions. This is the table. Here the elements and their atomic radius is given. First question, arrange the above elements in a decreasing order of the atomic radius. Decreasing means you have to start from the bigger atomic radius to the lower one. So the bigger one is the 152, then 111, 88, 77, 74 and 66. Next question, state the period to which the above elements belong. Answer is the above elements belong to period 2. Why this arrangement of the elements is similar to the above period of the modern periodic table? As when we move from the left to right within a period, the atomic number increases one by one, means the position of the change on the nucleus increases by 1 unit at a time. But the electrons are added to the same orbit, thereby increasing the pull toward the nucleus, which decreases the size of the atom. Student, we covered all the important points in this chapter. Even we discussed the questions which were asked in the board. Now I am giving this assignment question. State Doberer-Reiner's law of triads, giving one example. Give reason atomic radius goes on increasing down the group. Distinguish between the Mendeleev's periodic table and modern periodic table. Write a short note on the position of isotope in the Mendeleev's periodic table and the modern periodic table. Describe the structure of modern periodic table. Students, coming to the end of the program. With this, we have come to the end of this chapter. If you feel this video is useful to you, then do like, share and subscribe, because of which you will be able to get all the episodes of this series on your channel, which will be fruitful for you as we are going to provide important and valuable guidance. Also, if you have any doubt, queries about any concept or the topic, feel free to leave a comment in our comment box and we are sure to solve your doubts. Be confident, be meritorious and achieve glory.